Chosen one, I need you to lean in and hear this with the fullness of your spirit. You are not here by accident. This video did not just pop up randomly in your feed. Heaven itself orchestrated your steps to collide with this very word. Right now is not a coincidence, it is a divine appointment. The word of God says in Habakkuk 2:3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time. Though it tarries, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not delay." That appointed time is not tomorrow, not some far-off day in the future. That time is now, today, this very moment. You are standing at the threshold of your Kairos moment, God's perfect timing breaking through into your life. You may have felt it stirring for a while, that quiet knowing in your heart that something greater was near. You've carried tears no one saw, battles no one understood, and storms that almost took you out. But here's the truth, you didn't just stumble into this season. Every step you've taken, every prayer you've whispered into the silence, every storm you've endured has been carrying you to this moment on purpose. Heaven has aligned your path for this exact word. Let me ask you, have you ever looked back and realized that even your detours, your delays, your disappointments somehow positioned you exactly where you needed to be? That's not luck. That's divine orchestration. What you thought was random was actually preparation. God was setting the stage for a moment like this. Think about how David was overlooked by his own family, dismissed as nothing more than a shepherd boy, but God saw him as a giant slayer. Think about Joseph, betrayed by his brothers, falsely accused, forgotten in prison, but heaven never forgot him. Every setback was preparing him for the palace. And Esther, she wasn't born into royalty. She didn't seek the crown, but the crown sought her because she was chosen to deliver her people. Do you see the pattern? Heaven always prepares its chosen ones for an appointed moment, and that moment often comes when the world least expects it. And now, chosen one, it is your turn. This is your Kairos moment. God is opening doors that no man can shut. What was hidden is about to be revealed. What has been locked up is about to swing wide open. You are standing on the edge of something supernatural, and it will not wait for another season. The appointed hour has come. I know some of you have been questioning, why me? Why does it feel like my journey has been so hard? Why does it feel like heaven has been silent? But hear this clearly, silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. God has been moving behind the scenes, aligning details you couldn't see. Just because you didn't hear him doesn't mean he wasn't speaking. Just because you didn't see him doesn't mean he wasn't working. Your very survival is the evidence that his hand never left you. The fact that you're still here, still breathing, still listening to this right now is proof that heaven has not abandoned you. If your purpose had expired, you wouldn't still feel that stirring deep inside your spirit. That quiet whisper that says, there's more to my life than what I see. And now God is confirming what your heart has always sensed: you were made for more. You were marked for this very moment. This is not an ordinary crossing. This is destiny. The season has shifted. The atmosphere is changing. The silence is breaking. Heaven is sounding a trumpet call announcing your divine transformation. Chosen one, I want you to picture this. Imagine a door that has been shut for years, maybe even decades, suddenly swinging wide open before your very eyes. Imagine a weight you've carried for so long, suddenly being lifted off your shoulders. Imagine the prayers you thought were unanswered, suddenly manifesting in your life in ways that leave you speechless. That is what it means to step into a Kairos moment. God is not bound by the timeline of men. He is not delayed by human opinion or circumstance. When his appointed time arrives, no force of darkness, no plan of the enemy, no scheme of man can stop it. And his appointed time for you, chosen one, is now. So let me ask you again, do you feel the shift? Do you sense the atmosphere changing around you? That's not your imagination. That's not wishful thinking. That is heaven breaking into your life. The very things you thought were wasted years have been years of preparation. The tears you cried in secret have watered the soil for your harvest. The storms you endured were building resilience, shaping character, strengthening faith, so that when this moment came, you would be ready to step into it. And here you are. The divine appointment is unfolding. The Kairos moment is here. The time is not tomorrow. It is not someday. It is today. It is now. Heaven has drawn you to this word because you are chosen. You are appointed. And the door before you is about to open. Chosen one, let me remind you of something powerful. Nothing you've been through has been wasted. Every silent prayer, every sleepless night, every moment of betrayal, every season of disappointment, it all carried purpose. Even the times when you felt God was silent, even when the weight of exhaustion pressed you down and the storm felt endless, He was still there. His hand never left you, not for a single second. I know what it feels like to pray and hear nothing in return, to pour your heart out to heaven and wonder if your words just bounced off the ceiling. I know what it's like to carry wounds no one else sees, to smile on the outside while your soul is breaking on the inside. And yet, chosen one, the very fact that you are still here proves one thing: God has been holding you the entire time. Your survival is not ordinary. It's a miracle. Think about it. How many times did the enemy try to take you out? How many times did life try to crush you under the weight of circumstances? And yet here you are, still standing. That's not by accident. That is evidence of heaven's hand covering you. Sometimes the greatest proof of God's presence is simply the fact that you made it through what should have destroyed you. Now hear me clearly. What looked like a delay was actually planting. What felt like loss was part of a divine strategy. The moments you thought were wasted were actually working in your favor. A seed never grows in the spotlight. It grows hidden underground in the dark, in silence. And that's where you've been. It may have felt like nothing was happening, but all the while, heaven was cultivating your roots, building strength beneath the surface. Let's look at the lives of those who came before us. David was overlooked, dismissed as nothing more than a shepherd boy. His own family didn't even consider him worthy when Samuel came to anoint a king. But what others dismissed, God had chosen. That same David, the boy with a slingshot, was the one who stood before a giant no soldier dared to face. What looked like weakness became the very stage for God's strength. And Joseph, betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, thrown into prison, and forgotten by men. To human eyes, his life looked cursed. But to heaven, every step was training. Every betrayal, every injustice, every lonely night in the prison cell was shaping him into the ruler he was destined to become. When the time was right, God lifted Joseph from the pit to the palace in a single moment. So let me ask you, chosen one, could it be that what feels like a setback in your life is really preparation for something greater? Could it be that the silence is not God's absence but His strategy? Could it be that the pain you've endured is shaping you into someone stronger, someone bolder, someone more prepared for the calling on your life? I've lived through seasons where I felt abandoned by God, when doors slammed shut in my face, when people walked away, when opportunities slipped through my hands. I thought it was a rejection, but later I realized it was a redirect. God wasn't withholding, He was preparing. And when the breakthrough finally came, it came suddenly. Doors opened from unexpected places, provision flowed from unseen hands, and everything shifted in a moment. And that's what I want you to hold on to right now. Every storm you've endured, every scar you carry, every tear you've cried, it was not wasted. It was building something inside you. Resilience, faith, authority. Heaven has been preparing you for a release so great that your life cannot remain the same. What seemed like subtraction is about to become multiplication. David's slingshot, Joseph's prison, Esther's hidden years, all of these stories remind us of one truth: the wilderness is never the end of the story. It's the classroom where God trains His chosen ones. So don't despise your trials, chosen one. Don't look at your delays and think God has forgotten you. He hasn't. In fact, His hand has been closest in the moments you felt most alone. Your story isn't finished, it's being written, and the chapter you are about to step into will make sense of every tear, every valley, every hidden season. Right now, the evidence of His hand is this: you are still standing. And not only standing, but standing stronger, wiser, deeper in faith than before. That is not a weakness. That is victory. That is the mark of someone who has been carried by God. So lift your head, chosen one. Shake off the lie that your pain was pointless. Heaven wastes nothing. The very trials that almost broke you are the very things that are shaping you for breakthrough. You are being positioned for your Kairos moment, just like David, Joseph, and Esther were in their time. And when your moment comes, the world will see that God's hand never left you. Chosen one, hear me with your spirit. The season has shifted. What once felt like endless waiting is now giving way to release. Heaven is moving on your behalf, and your miracle is already unfolding. This is not a theory. This is not someday. This is now. You are stepping into the appointed hour, where doors that were locked for years are about to swing wide open. You've been in a season of hiddenness where it felt like silence was louder than thunder. You prayed, you pressed, you endured, and it seemed like nothing was changing. But that silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation. And now, chosen one, the trumpet is sounding. Heaven is announcing that the release has begun. What does that release look like? It looks like a supernatural transfer. It looks like God's favor, touching areas of your life that felt stuck for far too long. Finances that once seemed impossible to manage suddenly flowing with provision. Health that once seemed fragile suddenly strengthened. Relationships once marked by pain suddenly restored. Even your very identity, the way you see yourself, is being touched by the hand of heaven. Nothing will remain untouched. I've lived through seasons when I thought God had forgotten me, when every door closed, when people I trusted walked away, when opportunities slipped through my fingers. I thought it was the end of the story. But later, I realized that the soil of my struggle had been preparing me for a harvest greater than I could have imagined. And when the release came, it came suddenly. Provision showed up from places I never expected. Opportunities appeared from hands I never saw. Everything shifted in an instant. Chosen one, that same sudden shift is coming for you. What took years of tears and waiting can be reversed in a single moment of favor. The release is not just coming, it has already begun. Heaven is aligning details in ways you cannot yet see. Conversations are happening behind closed doors. People are mentioning your name in rooms you've never entered. Resources are being gathered and positioned for you. Think again about Joseph. One day he was sitting in a prison cell, overlooked and forgotten. The next he was standing before Pharaoh, promoted to second in command over Egypt. That wasn't a coincidence. That was a divine release. That was supernatural transfer, moving from lack to abundance, from rejection to influence, from obscurity to authority. And Joseph's story is not just history, it's a prophecy. What God did for him, he can do for you. So what makes this season different? The difference is timing. Heaven has declared that the waiting is over. What was hidden is about to be revealed. What was delayed is about to accelerate. The season of obscurity is giving way to unveiling. The gates are opening, and your release is not partial, it is complete. But chosen one, here's the truth you must understand. The release is not only about blessing you, it's about transforming you. God is not just opening doors so you can say, "Finally, I made it." He's shifting your entire life so that others can look at your story and find hope. Your release is a testimony that will echo through families, communities, even generations. When you rise, others rise with you. When you prosper, your abundance becomes a channel for others to prosper. This is why the warfare against your life has been so intense. The enemy knew your release was coming. He tried to bury you under disappointment. He tried to break you through betrayal. He tried to silence you with rejection. But all he did was push you deeper into the soil where your roots could grow stronger. And now, chosen one, the seed of destiny in you has broken through the ground. Nothing can stop what God has ordained. Imagine this: you wake up one morning and the heaviness that's been sitting on your chest is gone. The fear that's been whispering in your ear has no power anymore. The opportunities that seemed so far out of reach are suddenly within your grasp. That's what divine release looks like. It's not just one thing, it's everything. Finances, health, relationships, purpose. Heaven is touching it all. And don't forget, this abundance is more than money. Yes, financial overflow is part of the promise, but the true wealth of heaven goes far beyond numbers in a bank account. It's peace that silences anxiety. It's joy that fills you in the midnight hour. Its purpose is to light up your steps when the path seems uncertain. That's what God is preparing you to walk in, a life of overflow. So here's the question I want to ask you. Are you ready to step into it? Are you ready to let go of yesterday's disappointments, yesterday's fears, yesterday's limitations, so you can carry tomorrow's breakthrough? Because the truth is release and requires readiness. God is cutting away what cannot serve your destiny. He's making room for the miraculous. Chosen one, lean in. This is not just another season. This is the season of release. This is the hour of supernatural transfer. What was once locked is being unlocked. What was once delayed is now accelerating. What was once hidden is being revealed. And the evidence will be undeniable. Your transformation will be visible to everyone around you. They'll look at you and know the hand of God has touched your life. So don't shrink back now. Don't let fear convince you to hold on to the old. The news has come. The release is here. Step into it with boldness, because heaven has already decreed your breakthrough. Chosen one, lean closer, because this is the part your soul must grasp. Abundance is already flowing toward you. The season of lack, the season of scraping, by the season of wondering if you'll ever see a breakthrough, it is coming to an end. But here's the truth. Abundance is not only about money. Yes, financial overflow is part of the promise, but the wealth of heaven goes deeper. It touches everything. Abundance means peace that silences your anxious thoughts. Abundance means joy that bubbles over even in the midnight hours. Abundance means walking each day with a steady confidence that heaven is backing you. Imagine living without the constant weight of fear. Imagine waking up not with dread but with purpose. That's abundance. That's overflowing. That's the inheritance of the chosen ones. But here's something you must remember. To step into the new, you must release the old. Just like a tree cannot carry dead leaves into spring, you cannot carry yesterday's fears into tomorrow's breakthrough. Some habits will need to go. Some relationships will fade away. Some versions of yourself will have to be left behind. The pruning may sting. It always does. But it is not punishment. It is preparation. God cuts away what cannot serve your destiny so that you can carry what He's about to pour out. I know this because I've walked it. There were seasons when God asked me to release opportunities I thought were essential people. I thought I couldn't live without plans. I thought I needed to survive. And in the moment, each cut felt like a loss. It felt like subtraction. But later I realized every cut was making space. Space for blessings, space for growth, space for the kind of abundance I never could have carried if my hands were still full of the old. What felt like subtraction became multiplication. So don't resist the pruning, chosen one. Trust the hand of the gardener. Every branch he trims is for your increase. And when the new begins to bloom, it won't stay hidden. Your transformation will be radiant, undeniable. People will see it in your eyes. They'll hear it in your voice. They'll feel it in your presence. You won't need to explain. The evidence will be too clear. But hear me, this abundance is not just about you. Heaven is not simply sending blessings so you can live comfortably. Heaven is igniting a revolution through your story. When you rise, others will rise. When you prosper, communities will prosper. When you overflow, your family, your neighborhood, even generations you will never meet will feel the impact. Think about Joseph again. When he rose to power, it wasn't only for himself. His abundance saved nations. Or Esther, her crown wasn't about luxury, it was about deliverance. And David, his victory over Goliath didn't just free him, it freed an entire nation from fear. That's the pattern of heaven. When God blesses His chosen, it's never just about personal comfort. It's always about kingdom impact. That's why the warfare against your life has been relentless. The enemy knows your story is bigger than you. He knows your breakthrough is a lighthouse. He knows that when you rise, others will rise. That's why the attacks have been so fierce, because your testimony will ripple through generations. Chosen one, hear me, you are being entrusted with abundance, but with abundance comes responsibility. This blessing is not small, it is generational. What you do with your overflow will matter not just for today, but for decades, even centuries to come. Your obedience now creates opportunities for those not yet born. Your generosity today builds legacies tomorrow. So the question is, how will you steward what's coming? Will you use your abundance only for yourself, or will you allow it to become a river that flows into families, communities, and nations? Because heaven does not bless reservoirs, it blesses rivers. When you hold tightly, things stagnate. But when you release, when you pour out, when you serve, heaven keeps pouring more in. And let me tell you something personal. I've seen what happens when people mistake abundance as their own. They forget the source. They chase the spotlight, not the presence. And what started as overflow dries up because it was never about them. But I've also seen what happens when people stay humble, grateful, and surrender. They never run dry. The oil keeps flowing. The provision keeps multiplying. Their lives become testimonies that ripple outward, transforming everyone they touch. Chosen one, this is the call on your life. You are chosen not only to receive blessing, but to become a blessing. Your abundance is an assignment. Your overflow is a tool for healing, for building, for inspiring. Your wealth, your influence, your time, they are not just for you. They are heaven's resources flowing through you. So prepare your heart. Stay rooted in gratitude. Stay surrendered to the source. Because what is coming is not ordinary success. It is supernatural abundance with divine responsibility. And when you walk in it, people will look at your life and know God still raises the overlooked, still blesses the faithful, still transforms the chosen. Chosen one abundance is not just coming, it is here. And it will not just fill your cup, it will overflow, spilling into everything and everyone connected to you. That is the season you are stepping into. That is the responsibility you are called to carry. And heaven is trusting you with it. Chosen one, listen closely. Your breakthrough is bigger than you. Your rise is not just about your comfort, your success, or even your dreams. Heaven is writing a story through your life that will impact people you may never even meet. When you rise, others rise. When you step into your destiny, the ripple effect touches families, communities, and generations. This is why the battle against your life has been so fierce. The enemy wasn't only trying to stop you, he was trying to stop everyone connected to you. He knew your transformation would be a lighthouse, that when your story changes, it will shine as a beacon of hope for others walking in darkness. That's why the warfare was relentless. That's why the storms were so violent. Because your testimony is not private, it's generational. Think about it, when David defeated Goliath, it wasn't only his victory. An entire nation that had been paralyzed by fear suddenly stood tall. His courage became their courage. His victory broke their chains. And when Joseph stepped into the palace, it wasn't just his freedom. It was food for nations, survival for his family, deliverance for generations. Esther didn't wear her crown for comfort. She stood in the gap for her people, risking her life to save countless others. Do you see the pattern? Heaven never marks someone just for personal blessing. Heaven marks people for kingdom purposes. And chosen one, that's what's happening in your life right now. The blessing on your life is targeted, strategic, designed to reach far beyond your own needs. Let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered why you faced battles other people didn't have to fight? Why did the attacks against your life seem more relentless? It's because your assignment carries greater weight. The oil on your life is costly. The enemy sees the ripple effect of your obedience and he fears it. That's why he tried to break you before you discovered who you are. But here's the good news, he failed. You're still here. And because you're still standing, your rise will carry others with you. Your story is going to spark courage in people who thought they couldn't make it. Your healing will inspire faith in those still waiting for theirs. Your abundance will lift families out of cycles of lack. Your wisdom will guide communities that are searching for answers. Your obedience will plant seeds that grow into legacies for generations not yet born. I remember seasons in my own life when I thought the pain I was carrying was just my own burden. But later I realized God was allowing me to walk through valleys so that I could turn back and help others climb out. The scars I carried became proof for someone else that healing is possible. The breakthroughs I experienced became roadmaps for others still waiting. Chosen one, the same is true for you. What you endured was never just about you. It was about those who would follow. And here's what's so powerful: your rise is not just symbolic, it's practical. When God blesses your finances, you'll have the ability to bless others. When He restores your health, you'll carry the strength to serve. When He expands your influence, you'll shine His light in spaces where it's been absent. Your life becomes a vessel through which heaven flows. That's why surrender matters so much. Because if you think the blessing is only about you, you'll miss the assignment. But when you realize the favor in your life is for impact, not just comfort, everything changes. You stop asking, why me? And you start asking, who else will be lifted because of what God is doing in me? Chosen one, your purpose is greater than personal success. Heaven is raising you as a vessel of hope. Your transformation will not just be evidence of God's goodness, it will be a doorway for others to step through. You are chosen not only to rise, but to carry others with you. Think of it like this: a single candle can light another without losing its own flame. And yet, with every candle lit, the room grows brighter. That's what your life is about to look like. Your light will spark other lights. Your victory will unlock other victories. Your story will remind others that if God did it for you, He can do it for them. So prepare your heart, chosen one. The favor coming upon your life is not random. It is strategic. It is aimed at impact far beyond what you can see right now. You are stepping into generational purpose. The choices you make, the obedience you walk in, the generosity you release, these will echo long after you are gone. And maybe you've been wondering, why did God choose me? I'm not the strongest, the smartest, or the most qualified. But that's the beauty of heaven's strategy. God delights in lifting the overlooked, in choosing the unexpected, in using the broken to heal others. Your imperfections don't disqualify you, they qualify you. They reveal your dependency on divine strength. Chosen one, this is bigger than you think. Heaven is raising you not just for yourself, but for everyone connected to your destiny. And when you walk in it, the ripple effect will be undeniable. Families will be healed, communities will be lifted, generations will be changed. So rise boldly, chosen one. Your purpose is not private. Your blessing is not just yours. Your story is about to become someone else's survival guide. When you rise, others will rise. When you walk in abundance, others will taste freedom. When you shine, darkness will flee. And all of it will point back to the one who chose you from the very beginning. Chosen one, as you step into this new season of release and abundance, there are keys you must carry: faith, courage, gratitude, and surrender. These are not just nice ideas. They are spiritual weapons, the very tools that unlock the doors heaven is setting before you. Without them, breakthroughs can slip through your fingers. With them, you will walk boldly into the fullness of your destiny. Let's start with faith, not the kind of faith that simply believes when everything is going well, but the kind of faith that holds on when everything around you screams, "Let go." The kind of faith that builds before provision appears. Think about the Israelites at the Red Sea. The waters didn't part until they stepped forward. Miracles rarely happen for those who stay still. They appear when we move in faith. Your faith is not just belief. It is the key that unlocks heaven's timing. Ask yourself, are you willing to take the step even when the path is unclear? Are you willing to build even when you don't see the resources yet? Because that's the kind of faith that draws heaven's power into your life. When you declare, "God, I trust you here," even in the unseen mountains move, chains break, doors open. But faith alone is not enough. You also need courage. Courage does not mean you feel no fear. Courage means you move forward despite it. Look at Joshua when he stepped into leadership after Moses. God didn't say don't feel fear. He said be strong and courageous, for I am with you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to obey God, even when fear whispers in your ear. Chosen one, fear will try to paralyze you in this season. It will whisper that you're not worthy, that your dreams are too big, that your past disqualifies you. But courage will silence those lies. Courage says, if God called me, then I am qualified. If He opens the door, then I am ready. If He spoke the promise, then I will see it come to pass. The world doesn't need more perfect people, it needs courageous people willing to step out in obedience. Now let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude is not just good manners, it is a spiritual force. Gratitude multiplies what you have. Gratitude attracts what you need. When you thank God for the little, He trusts you with much. When you thank Him for what you cannot yet see, you draw it closer. Gratitude shifts the atmosphere of your life. It declares to heaven, I trust you. I believe in you. I know you are working, even when I can't see it. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to complain, to focus on what hasn't happened yet, on what's still missing, on what still feels broken? Complaining shuts doors. Gratitude opens them. Complaining magnifies lack. Gratitude magnifies abundance. Every time you whisper thank you, you're planting seeds for more. When Paul and Silas were chained in prison, they didn't complain. They sang praises, and those praises shook the foundations of the prison and opened every door. That's the power of gratitude. And finally, surrender. This may be the hardest key of all, because surrender means letting go of control. It means trusting God's timing, even when it doesn't match your own. It means laying down your plans so He can give you better ones. Chosen one, you cannot manipulate divine timing. You cannot force heaven's hand. You can only align yourself with it. Surrender is not weakness, it is power. It is the doorway into effortless miracles. When you let go, you make space for God to move. When you stop striving, you start receiving. When you stop grasping, you start growing. Think of Jesus in Gethsemane. He surrendered with the words, "Not my will, but yours be done." And that surrender changed the entire world. I've seen this in my own journey. When I clung tightly to my own plans, everything felt heavy, exhausting, and frustrating. But when I released my timeline, better plans arrived. When I released my fears, peace filled me. When I surrendered what I thought I needed, God gave me what I truly needed. And chosen one, He will do the same for you. So let me bring these keys together. Faith is the step that unlocks the impossible. Courage is the strength to walk through the door. Gratitude is the posture that multiplies your blessings. And surrender is the heart that allows God to pour out His best. These four together create an unstoppable force in your life. But here's the truth, you must practice them daily. Speak faith into your circumstances. Walk courageously into opportunities. Whisper gratitude over every detail, even the small ones. Live surrendered, knowing that God's hand is on your story. When you carry these keys, no storm can stop you, no delay can hold you, and no enemy can break you. Chosen one, your next season is not only about blessing, it's about stewardship. Heaven is entrusting you with influence, with resources, with abundance. And these keys will keep you aligned, humble, and powerful. So grab hold of them. Faith, courage, gratitude, surrender. They are your weapons. They are your foundation. And with them, you will not just step into breakthrough, you will carry breakthroughs for generations. Chosen one, hear me with your spirit. This is a season of divine acceleration. What once took years will now happen in months. What once felt delayed will suddenly appear right on time. Heaven is collapsing the waiting seasons, aligning your readiness with God's perfect timing. You are about to experience a supernatural fast forward. Think about how long Joseph spent in hiddenness, locked away in prison, forgotten by men. Then in one single day, everything shifted. He went from prisoner to ruler in the blink of an eye. That wasn't a coincidence. That was divine acceleration. And the same acceleration is coming for you. You may feel like you've been walking through mud, each step Heavy progress, slow, nothing moving. But suddenly God breathes and everything accelerates. Relationships heal. Opportunities multiply. Resources appear. Doors open that you didn't even know existed. That's the nature of divine acceleration. It feels sudden, but it is not sudden to God. It is perfectly on time. Now acceleration can feel overwhelming. One day you feel overlooked, the next you are at the center of attention. One day you are surviving, the next you are thriving. But don't be afraid of the speed. You've been prepared for this. The scars you carry are not signs of weakness, they are proof of endurance. You were trained in obscurity for visibility. You were prepared in silence for sound. You will not collapse under the weight of this blessing because you've been built for it. Still, acceleration requires focus. When the pace quickens, distractions increase. The enemy would love to derail you with pride, with busyness, with comparison. That's why you must stay anchored. Guard your vision. Stay close to God's presence. Remember, the source is not the spotlight. The source is His Spirit. Success without surrender is dangerous. Abundance without gratitude is hollow. But if you keep your eyes on Him, the speed will not derail you. It will propel you. And the chosen one with acceleration comes something else, divine connections. Heaven is aligning people around you in this season. Destiny helpers are being sent. Mentors, allies, partners. Some you haven't met yet, others you already know, but their role in your life is about to shift. These are not random encounters. They are divine appointments perfectly timed to multiply your impact. Think about Ruth. A divine connection led her to Boaz, and that connection not only changed her life, but birthed a lineage that led to King David, and eventually to Jesus himself. Think about Jonathan. His covenant with David strengthened the future king in moments of weakness. Think about Mary and Elizabeth, carrying prophetic destinies that confirmed each other in secret. Heaven has always used divine connections to bring about divine purpose. Chosen one, the same will happen for you. People are being positioned to speak your name in rooms you haven't entered yet. Partners are being sent who will lift your arms when you grow weary. Mentors will appear who have walked the path ahead and can show you the way. These connections are not accidents, they are strategies of heaven. But here's the key: discernment. Not everyone who approaches you in this season is sent by God. Some will come to distract, to drain, to derail. That's why you must ask for spiritual eyes to see who is truly aligned with your destiny. Divine connections will multiply you. Counterfeit connections will divide you. The right people will confirm what God is already speaking to your heart. The wrong people will confuse you, pulling you off course. Pray for discernment and trust the Spirit to guide you. And remember, this provision flows with connection. As God aligns you with the right people, resources will begin to locate you. Finances will align. Opportunities will converge. Support will appear from unexpected places. Contracts, investments, open doors, they're not random. They are part of your portion in this season of acceleration. But provision is not only financial. Peace is provision. Wisdom is provision. Clarity is provision. God will supply exactly what you need when you need it through the connections He ordains. You will find yourself equipped in ways you didn't even realize you needed. That's the beauty of divine acceleration. God doesn't just move quickly, He moves completely. So what should you do in this season? Stay grounded. Anchor your soul daily. Surround yourself with voices that remind you of the source, not just the spotlight. Keep gratitude on your lips. Guard your heart against pride and walk with discernment as new people step into your path. Chosen one, hear this. The acceleration coming upon your life is not to overwhelm you, but to establish you. The connections being aligned are not random, but prophetic. Heaven is moving quickly now, but you are ready. You've been prepared for this very moment. So, embrace the speed. Welcome the helpers. Step boldly into the new relationships and opportunities God is opening for you. Because when divine acceleration and divine connections collide, Your life will not only change, it will overflow with impact, touching countless others. This is your moment. Don't fear it. Don't shrink back. Heaven is aligning everything. The acceleration has begun, and the connections are already on their way. Chosen one, lean in, because this truth will change the way you see your own life. Your words carry power, not ordinary power, but creative authority. Heaven and earth respond to what comes out of your mouth. Every declaration you make, every whisper of faith or doubt, plants a seed in the soil of your future. And the harvest of your life will always reveal the seeds you've sown with your tongue. The book of Proverbs says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit." That means what you speak today shapes what you experience tomorrow. If you speak fear, you reap fear. If you speak lack, you invite lack. But if you speak faith, you draw miracles. If you speak life, you call forth breakthroughs. Your words are not empty, they are weapons. Think about Ezekiel standing in a valley of dry bones. God asked him, "Can these bones live?" And Ezekiel answered, "Lord, only you know." Then God told him to prophesy to the bones. And when he spoke, life bones rattled, came together, and rose into an army. The bones didn't move until he opened his mouth. That's the power of words. Your declaration activates heaven's intervention. Chosen one, in this season of acceleration and release, you cannot afford careless speech. You must be intentional with every word. Speak life over your circumstances. Speak abundance into your atmosphere. Speak healing into your body and clarity into your mind. When you align your tongue with heaven, creation responds. Mountains move, doors open, and impossibilities bow to divine order. But this is not only about speaking over yourself. It's also about the influence God is entrusting you with. As your life shifts, as your platform expands, as your voice carries further than before, you must steward that influence well. Influence is not given for vanity, it is entrusted for impact. Favor is not for self-glory, it is for service. Wealth is not for hoarding, it is for healing and building. Think of Joseph again. When he rose to power in Egypt, his words carried weight that determined the survival of nations. Think of Esther, one sentence before the king shifted the destiny of her people. Think of Jesus. He didn't just heal with his hands, he healed with his words. He spoke, and the blind saw, the lame walked, storms calmed, and demons fled. The authority of heaven was carried on his tongue, and now, chosen one, that same authority has been placed within you. When you speak, things shift. When you decree what heaven has declared, atmospheres align. That's why the enemy has fought so hard to silence you. He knows the weight your words carry. He knows that when you open your mouth in faith, hell trembles. So let me ask you, what have you been speaking over your life? Have you been repeating the lies of the enemy? I'll never make it. I'm not enough. It's too late for me. Or are you declaring the promises of God? I am chosen. I am favored. I am unstoppable. God's timing is perfect. The atmosphere of your life will follow the language of your mouth. And here's something even deeper. Your words don't just shape your world. They shape the worlds of others. As God expands your influence, what you say will either build up or tear down, encourage or discourage, plant faith or plant fear. Your influence is a sacred trust. Every platform you stand on, every conversation you hold, every declaration you make carries weight. This is why humility is so important. Influence without humility becomes dangerous. Gratitude without service dries up quickly. Remember, chosen one, you are not the source. You are the vessel. Stay rooted in God's presence and He will keep pouring. Stay surrendered and the oil will never stop flowing. Stay generous and heaven will keep multiplying your resources. I've seen people rise into influence only to be blinded by the spotlight. They forgot the source and the flow stopped. But I've also seen people remain low before God, even as their voice carried across nations. And those are the people heaven continued to trust with more favor, more impact, more responsibility. So chosen one, guard your words and steward your influence. Speak with intention, speak with courage, speak with alignment. And when God places you in rooms you never imagined, remember your voice is not just for you. It is for those who need hope. It is for those who need freedom. It is for those who need to see that God still moves through ordinary lives surrendered to Him. This is the weight of the season you are walking into. Your words will shift atmospheres. Your influence will break chains. Your declarations will plant seeds of faith in hearts that thought they were finished. And the ripple effect will outlast your lifetime. So rise boldly, speak boldly, live boldly. The world is waiting for the sound of your voice aligned with the promises of heaven. Steward it, well chosen one, because what God is releasing through you will echo through generations. Chosen one, hear this clearly. The season of survival has come to an end. You are not merely holding on anymore. You are stepping into a season of abundance, acceleration, and divine overflow. The nights of scraping by the long seasons of wondering if you'd ever see a breakthrough, those days are behind you. A new chapter is unfolding, and it is marked by the favor of God. What once felt delayed will now accelerate. What was locked tight is about to swing wide. What remained hidden is about to be revealed. Heaven is not asking you to wait another decade, another year, or even another month. Heaven is announcing the time is now. This is your Kairos moment, God's perfect timing colliding with your life. And here's what you need to understand. You are no longer just chosen as a title you carry. You are about to become the living embodiment of what it means to be chosen. You will radiate it. You will walk in it. You will declare it not only with your words, but with your very life. Your presence will testify to the reality of God's promises. Think of how a butterfly emerges from the cocoon. It struggles, it pushes, it presses until it breaks free. And once it does, it doesn't need to announce itself. It shines with undeniable transformation. That's the moment you are standing in right now. People will look at you and wonder, what changed? How did this happen? And the only answer will be, God's hand has touched your life. But the chosen one, don't shrink back now. Don't let fear convince you to stay where you are. You've come too far to hesitate at the threshold. The door is open, walk through it with boldness. Walk with gratitude, knowing that every tear has been counted. Walk with humility, remembering the source of your breakthrough. Walk with faith, trusting that what God has begun, He will finish. This blessing is not just about you. It's bigger than your personal dreams, bigger than your comfort, bigger than your own story. The overflow that is about to touch your life is meant to spill over into families, into communities, into generations. You are stepping into a season where your life will become a testimony, a channel of hope, a vessel of God's goodness. Think of Abraham. When God blessed him, the promise was not just for him, it was for his descendants, for nations yet unborn. Think of Esther. Her crown was never just about her, it was about saving her people. And now, chosen one, your Kairos moment carries that same weight. Your obedience will open doors not just for you, but for everyone connected to your destiny. Heaven has already spoken it. The earth will soon witness it. And your role is simple: step boldly. Don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let doubt steal what has been promised. The time for hesitation is over. The time for declaration has come. Speak it aloud: I am chosen. I am anointed. I am unstoppable. So I ask you, will you step through the threshold? Will you embrace the fullness of who God says you are? Will you allow your life to shine so brightly that others are drawn to His light through you? Because this moment is not ordinary. This is divine alignment. This is destiny unfolding. Chosen one, the world is waiting for your light. Heaven is rejoicing over your rise. Angels are already moving on your behalf. The gates are open. The chains are broken. The atmosphere is shifting in your favor. What you prayed for, what you longed for, what you wept for, it is already in motion. This is your Kairos moment. This is your appointed time. Lift your head, straighten your shoulders, step forward with holy confidence, because nothing can stop what God has ordained. If this word resonates in your spirit, don't keep it silent. Seal it with faith. Declare it now. Type 777 inches the comments as a prophetic act of agreement. Let the world know you are aligning with heaven. Subscribe, stay connected, and walk with this family of chosen ones because we are rising together. Go forward in boldness. Go forward in faith. Go forward in joy. The world is waiting for your light, and heaven is celebrating your destiny. The threshold is before you step into it. The palace is closer than you think.